My name is Jay Schwartfeger, but I go by the name of Jay on the drums, and my main passion in life is drumming. So I've found a way to channel that in a way that I can help others through three means. The first one is providing a live drum soundtrack for yoga classes. Now normally they do live bands or live musicians, but mine's a little bit different. I refer to it as the live drum soundtrack, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. So yoga, and I also add drums to Zumba classes and all types of aerobics. So as they're having their playlist and you're sweating, the live musician there adds a different element to it and adds a little bit more power and motivation. The third one is in nightclubs with DJs, kind of the same idea as the aerobics. I add percussion and just accent the beat when people are dancing to. When I think back of how I got into drumming in these different realms, it's kind of a long story. I never had the intention of drumming until I was about 15. My friend Justin Schmedicke asked me if I wanted to do it because he was learning guitar. And we were best friends, and he started to do guitar, and all of a sudden I can't do anything, and I want to keep, hanging with him. So he's like, why don't you just learn how to drum? So I told my dad, and he's like, we could definitely do lessons if you want to commit to it, but you have to commit to it. So credit to my dad, he got me to find something constructive, and I started drumming. So I started off like most kids. I was in a rock band. Our band name was called Three Crease, and we were the hometown band that everyone loved. It was a great time. But as you get older, you got to try to find a way to, support yourself. So being in a rock band really isn't that helpful when you're trying to support yourself. So I ended up kind of giving up, going to college, forming other bands more just for fun. It wasn't until I decided I wanted to give my life up in a way and kind of start fresh. So I grew up in Chicago, sold everything, moved to the beach in San Diego, lived there for about a year, and it was there that I stumbled on a yoga studio that did live music. And it just hit me, I'm like, this is a good idea, because I've always loved yoga. I obviously love music, and I decided to try it. And they said, yeah, if you can come on in and demo what you sound like, we might be able to hire you to do music in the classes. And so I did, and all of a sudden I found like this whole new world I never thought was possible. The philosophy behind what I tried to do is basically to unify people through music. And when I started doing the yoga drumming, I really found it's kind of like a heartbeat. And that is exactly the first sound that everybody hears. Whether it's your own or your mother's, but when you're in the womb, you're hearing the heartbeat. The music, as we all know, unifies people. So my whole angle, which I've always loved to do as a drummer, whether you know it or not, when you're watching a band, the drummer is making you move. In yoga, it's almost the same thing. I can help control your poses, your flows a little bit more. More importantly, take your mind out of your mind so you can focus on being in the moment through the rhythm. But aside from that, it brings everyone together. And for me, drumming is the way I can help unify everyone that I come in contact with.
Drummer Jay Schwartfeger is combining his love of music and fitness.
We all listen to music when we work out anyway. So, this is like a live, personalized drum track for you while you're doing yoga.
I think drumming is such a beautiful art and beautiful expression of rhythm, and I think with the yoga and the breath and in the body, it's going to be really complementary.
Regardless of how you practice your down dog, you should always go to the beat of your own drum.
The main thing with that, I feel it's like the rhythm of life, like a heartbeat. And basically what I'm doing is trying to flow with the teacher, with the energy of the class, and as they're flowing up and down, going a little quicker, holding a pose, the drum kind of connects, and like with some of the studios with the nice wood floor, you really feel it. So it's combining the exercise with the music, just putting it together. When I look at the different kind of live music, either groups or solo artists in the yoga scene specifically, for me, I think the main difference being just a solo drummer, I don't mess around with any kind of melodies or any kind of vocals or other instruments. It's strictly my djembe, made by Remo. The way I think I stand out, I don't come in with any songs rehearsed. There's no beats that are pre-manufactured. Usually I come into a town and I meet the teacher, and within that moment, that's our first connection. So what I do is a little bit more improv. And I try to tailor it to the energy and the feeling of the class, the teacher, the students. Depending where they go is where I go. And that is not live music. To me, that's a live soundtrack. Almost like in a movie, they show someone driving down a road and now it's gonna be a little bit more tense and it's growing with the class. So for me, I'm doing a beat that's gonna keep you kind of tranced, and it's gonna change when that changes. If the teacher's talking about, okay, we're gonna speed it up now, there I am right away, speeding it up, growing in the moment. So I don't know if it's still live music, but it's not like I had tracks 1 through 10 rehearsed and I'm coming in to play it and you gotta switch when I switch. It's reversed. And in a way, it's kind of like a jazz jam between me and the teacher and the students. We're making it up as we go. And it's so unique.